So Brian, the great battle between Facebook and Google, I don't see people using Google Plus at the moment. What have they got in their armoury to change that? How are they going to get people away from Facebook?
Well, that's a really good question, and it's been debated online significantly over the last 12 months. And I think the answer lies with Google's focus is definitely more towards capturing the attention and the efforts of business, whereas Facebook is primarily focused on the individual. And I think Google is using Google Plus as an accelerator to gain visibility within the search engines, and I think that's definitely on the radar of businesses. Businesses that are switched onto that now are starting to engage with Google Plus.
So you're saying that if businesses are posting content to Google Plus, they're going to be found in search more easily?
Absolutely. The content ranks significantly quicker than the traditional blog, for example. It's also more engaging in terms of it has an avatar and more information, so it's not just text links, so the click-through is significantly more. And the idea of author rank is now coming to fruition, so individuals, so experts and consultants and that kind of thing can gain visibility and better search engine rankings.
Can you explain the author rank just briefly?
Sure. Author rank is essentially the equivalent of websites are ranked with in pages. Pages are given ranks in terms of the value of the content, the relevancy of and credibility of the content on them. And now Google is doing the same with authors. So if you have a following on a blog and then you publish content on somebody else's blog, you're rewarded for that content. It's not just one place, so you can take it with you.
Okay, so I blog, I tweet, I post videos. If I can get an author rank up and if I can get positioning on the search engines, can I not just put that information onto Google Plus but carry on with my engagement elsewhere? Why would I want to actually change my time that I devote to search engines to Google Plus over, say, Facebook or Twitter?
Well, you definitely should continue to engage in different channels, but there's definitely evidence starting to emerge that engaging directly with Google Plus will give you significant more benefits in terms of search engine rankings than if you just rely on other channels, such as the traditional blog. And in terms of author rank, if you think of when David Beckham negotiated his own image rights from Man United, that was a watershed moment where the value of his personal brand he could take to any club, he could take anywhere, he could use it for additional advertising and such like that. That's exactly what's happening in terms of search engines and business. So it's interesting that going forward, I think you'll see author rank appear on people's CVs. I think you'll see people being paid for guest blogging and putting content in certain places to get other people's pages to rank in search engines, and it's just a step forward for Google, bringing more relevant and valuable content to its customer.
So interestingly, you're talking about using things like author rank to bring value to individuals in terms of their content. And the final question, we've seen sites like Klout, for example, around for a while, where, we were talking about this earlier, where I've been quite sceptical about where the real value is with Klout. And American Airlines have recently done a deal with Klout to try and get those influencers in. So have I been wrong? I mean, is there real value in getting your Klout score up and getting your author rank up, and how does that work? How do you use a site like Klout?
Well, I think in the past my opinion of Klout has been fairly negative. I think they've been a leech on the industry, but recently we've been using Klout to research and find the influences of an influencer, for example. And I think the idea of attributing a value and a score to an individual is interesting, and it's certainly got Google's attention now. But I think the difference is With Klout, it's kind of intangible, and nobody really knew what to do with that value other than use it for vanity purposes. Now what we're saying is Google are doing exactly the same thing, but they're harnessing the same concept and giving you a net result, which means that your content will rank higher than somebody else's. It'll be indexed faster, and it will give you tangible business benefits. And of course, it all comes back down to using Google products more often.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Bryan.